two girls. I'm a pharmacist by profession, and I'm an entrepreneur. I have I have two different companies with three different brands. The first company is a distribution company that is located in Cameroon. They will distribute healthcare, mostly female hygiene products, like pads, diapers, tampons. One other thing we do in that company is that all our products carry information about healthcare and hygiene, which is something we found lacking in the market. The second business we have, or the second company we have, is called Pharmacy Norway. That's a Norwegian-based company. It has two brands. One brand is a shea butter brand. Shea butter is a very skin-effective nut that is being used in the African countries now. It's become popular worldwide. Raw shea butter cures everything from, it helps with eczema, protects you from the sun, so it's approved as skin product. It's it gives a lot of nourishment for the skin, and it helps to protect you from drying off. That is the shea butter line alone. And in that product line, we do have a cream and an ointment, which is a thicker cream, but we intend to make face creams and body wash and lip balms, all based on shea butter. The next brand is Mahogany of Africa, which is a luxury skincare and accessories brand for African men. That is a representation of myself and my personality put into a product. My experience as a pharmacist, my experience staying in Scandinavia, the need for the African design on quality products, and the need for the continuity or the rebirth of an African identity, but not losing the love you have for quality and luxury things. All of this combined into a brand. So those are the three ventures I'm involved in personally. And of course, I'm an advisor in other people's companies and a partner in others. But these three ventures I mentioned are the ventures where I own and I participate 100%. An entrepreneur for me is somebody who sees opportunities in either existing things or a possibility to create something that satisfies human need. It can be anything from a product that helps people in need or something that satisfies pleasure and desires for people to connect, like Facebook or Google, for people to find information. Anybody who can think beyond what exists to create something else is an entrepreneur. And even though you're an entrepreneur and you have very good ideas, you cannot do everything on your own. I don't know anything about law. I don't know anything about branding and branding of luxury products apart from the ones I buy. So we've gotten a lawyer who is a brand lawyer. He provides that service in the partnership. We have a financial person who provides the financial, who calculates the money, calculates how much products will cost, and eventually we'll have salespeople who will go out and sell. While I am the brain and I understand what these people are supposed to do, I need those hands to do it. So we find people who fit into the positions that are needed to grow the business, and that's how we get the people. And then we're going out into entrepreneurial environments, of course. In the start phase, we cannot pay people enough, so you have to go into entrepreneurial communities to find people who burn for your idea. And you pitch out your idea, you find people who love it, and then you choose them to the business as possible. You start by recruiting for the people you know will buy your products. In entrepreneurial world, we call it the early movers. It's assumed that about 10 to 15% of the population will see something and just love it and buy it. You're looking for where those people are. After that, you go to the later people who you have to convince to buy. And then you have the ones who buy because others have bought. And then you want the one who are still using Nokia phones with antennas. They will never buy. They don't like change. So those you're not interested in. Now, I operate in the African business sphere. In Africa, as everywhere, know, a bunch of problems. But that's what it's traditionally been thought. Actually, those all are a bunch of opportunities. So it's a dream for an entrepreneur to be in Africa, because all those things people traditionally see as problems are business opportunities. The child who's not eating needs food. The child who's not going to school, needs uniform, needs a teacher. Everything, the ecosystem is still very raw. So everything is an entrepreneurial opportunity. So moving along the streets in Cameroon or any African country, there's business everywhere. So for an entrepreneur, your challenge is stopping yourself and selecting from what you see, what you have to focus on. The top three skills I think are important for an entrepreneur is that you must burn for what you want. You must have a deep desire for what you want. If you follow the money and not the desire, the amount of turns and stops and hurdles along the way will kill you, which comes to the second part, persistence. You have to have a certain type of persistence which is different from what people understand as persistence. It's crying at night but going to the meeting in the morning. Not knowing what you're doing in the meeting but still going. The third thing is the ability to manage uncertainty. Now you may have a fantastic product that solves a need of a customer, but the customer doesn't care for that need. You might, hunger for example, is an easy thing. People have to eat. But when we started solving hygiene problem, which the customers did not understand they thought it was a medical problem. We had to explain to them their problems, and these are private things, so they would not tell you their problems. So I think the burning desire for what you want to do, persistence, and a strong will. It's very important to be an entrepreneur. Pharmacists helped my business in two ways. It helps me know what I'm doing. When I'm creating products, healthcare products, I can easily understand healthcare needs. It also validates the products and the service and the company towards people who are buying from us. The fact that I'm a pharmacist. Fortunately for me, pharmacists are one of the most trusted professions. So when I put my being a pharmacist behind a product, I have my moral and ethical professional pride put on that product, and that is reflected in the way people respond to the product. So it has been very positive. I would first of all say that for anyone who is young, who wants to be an entrepreneur, especially this generation, take some time off the glory stories. The success is the end. If you're seeing the product, as I just described, it's thinking it until you see it. When you see a successful person, the only thing they tell you is that product. The journey is not normally told. But no matter how shiny the end looks, you would have to go through the journey. The reality, the young people, the young men and women I have seen stop their businesses is because of their unrealistic expectations about how fast or how glorious it's going to look when you succeed, or how fast the success is going to come. It may come for some people. You might have a brilliant idea and make billions tomorrow, but that's the exception, that's not the rule. The first thing is to pipe yourself away from the success of others, which leads me to the second thing. You have to find your passion. Your passion cannot be the goal. The goal is only part of the process. It's the process that matters. The person you become in the process. The person I have become. I can create more products now because of my mistakes, because of my failures, because of the failures of others. There would be humps, there would be bumps along the way. So you have to love what you do. Find something you love and then see how you can make a business out of it. Don't go finding a place where you can make money and then see how you're going to love it. The third thing for millennials is that while there is huge opportunity in the IT sector, especially for African millennials, everybody cannot create an app or website of how farmers are going to control their animals. Somebody has to go do the farming. While there's unique opportunity in the IT sector, creating apps and creating websites, some people can actually, if you look down in the field, you can create more valuable products that are not easy to produce. Somebody has to do the dirty work. And when you go there, huge opportunities exist there too. Entrepreneurship is not for everybody. Sometimes being part of a team is your entrepreneurship. You may leave your job and join a team, not as the one who creates the idea, but someone who brings a unique competence into the idea. Everyone has a talent. Every human being on earth has a unique talent, a unique gift. Your purpose is to find that gift and then bring it to anything you do, especially entrepreneurship. Being an entrepreneur affects your family life, depending on, in a family unit, if you're doing it with the family members, because I have other entrepreneurs like my business partners who are a couple, both of them are doing the business together. So their family life, even though controlled by the business, it's still a unit. To me, I've had to make choices like moving away to Cameroon for a year away from my children to try a bit entrepreneurial opportunity. So it has, of course, a very strong effect on the family. It could be very positive, which will be eventually at the end, but in the beginning, it's almost always negative. And that is if the other people are not involved. Well, I have another friend who has a real estate company, and both his wife and his children are part of the company. So they are running a family company, so it doesn't affect the family that much. It depends on where you are. For me, it's been a very difficult balance between family and business. When you balance it by spending time with your family to make the quality of the time you spend with them much more valuable, that's one way of balancing. Even the time is short, which you have to do with your family, you have to make sure there's value out of that time. The second thing is trying to involve them to a certain extent so they understand where you are. What motivates me is creativity, finding solutions, looking for opportunities when they don't exist, and empowering people. Those things, even I'm doing them through a brand, or I'm doing them through driving a car, or I'm doing them through finding a solution for people's homes, it's about those things. People have to be empowered by my person. I'm a very value-driven person. So I always take value that people like the identity of being an African, the identity which has been lost for many years, for many people, to find that identity back, but do not compromise on quality that you're used to having if you can afford it, or finding back to giving the girls information, even though I'm selling them products, but making sure with my products, with our products, they can get the value information that they have to live a high quality life. That's extremely important to me. Which is to make myself independent worker. That is, I would only work for myself. In 10 years time, I see myself an educator now, teaching people about entrepreneurship while my companies are growing, running my companies part-time. In 20 years time, I see myself only teaching people while my companies are building themselves. The structure has been created, people have been put into the companies, they're running themselves, and I am going around from one African country to the other, teaching people about entrepreneurship. I always have a story I tell my friends that in 20 years time, I see myself sitting at the airport in Accra, which is the Ghanaian airport, a little bit of white hair on my head, my personal assistant sitting on my side taking notes, and we're waiting for the next flight to Addis Ababa to talk at a conference of entrepreneurs, to teach young people how to believe in themselves, how to create companies, and how that trick which it takes to identify opportunities from everything around you, to smell opportunities in business. That's where I see myself in 20 years, at the airport in Accra.